Sounds great. How you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good.
Obviously, kind of a revenge matchup this week. I mean, you're getting two teams on your home court out of the three that you've lost to this season. One of my favorite stories I've done this year was talking to you guys after you regrouped from those two road losses. It felt like a pretty big turning point in the season, and on your guys' ascent. So, what's this weekend mean for your team?
Great opportunities to play two more great teams, to continue to challenge ourselves, learn, rise to another level. It kind of feels like that's going to be necessary. That's the vibe that I personally have, that this is going to demand our best effort of the year. So a lot of fun. I mean, that's kind of just the vibe. It's like, okay, what's the next challenge? How do we put everything together in place to attack it? And when you have a team that's embracing challenges like this one is, it's just pure joy, man. It's just fun, So we know we got two great teams coming. We're gonna have Gil going crazy. The traffic has been heavy, which is exactly what you want. And so it should just be 80 great minutes of high-level competition.
What are some of the things that you guys kind of took away from that weekend of those two losses that you guys have, really worked on now that you'll have in your back pocket to come out and attack these two schools with?
Well, I don't know if it's specific. I think it's a general. I mean, that was the first time we were on the road. It was the first time we played against, that level of guard play for sure. So it was a stretch, and we learned a lot. Those two teams played well. Obviously, we had a chance at SE, came up short. UCLA, I think, both games, we looked back on them, and we just made too many mistakes. That was the bottom line. It was like we were there. The effort was right. We just didn't know how. There was one more step for us to take. One big step, just in accuracy. So I think in a general sense, that's what everybody has seen over the last few weeks. Since then, is just a attention to detail that we didn't know as a group we needed, that we gave into because we didn't like losing. And this group came off that with that awareness and knowledge and that confidence. That we were right there, and we looked at film and we're like, man, we could have won those games. Looking back, I mean, it's kind of how it felt. And I don't know if they would agree with that, but that's how it felt looking at it. So those two games, while they were losses, gave us confidence going forward that we are close. We just got to tighten up a little bit, and that's what we've done, and that's what we'll need to continue to do, this weekend.
So it seems to me, you can push back on this if you want, but it seems to me this team really likes each other. I mean, it just seems apparent. I don't know. Does it strike you too that this team more so than a lot of teams? I'm not saying that your teams don't like each other, but this one really seems to enjoy each other.
Yeah, you're right. I thought it was funny. You kind of sighed as you're getting into that. You don't like talking about feelings much, Nick.
Hey, all I'm around is girls.
Well, you're right on with this team, and that is always my goal. I think that's the way to do this, to build a team that's truly a team, and we are family. I mean, build a family, so that you go off to college, you've got a place that takes care of you as a human, and then challenges you as a professional and as an athlete, and grows you, in those ways. But this world is uncomfortable enough that we try to create a comfortable environment. You want a locker room that gets along, that likes each other, that has fun, and because this is a long, hard journey that we're on every year. And you can see it happening. Teams fall apart. Teams are ready for the year to be done, or teams never want it to end. And you're right in saying that this team is trending towards that. I mean, that's who they are. They are having a blast together, and it makes me happy. And it was evident from August on, as soon as we were all together getting ready for Italy. You throw half the team's new, you put them together, practice 10 days, and head off, and now you're immersed together for an 11-day trip. You're going to learn a lot about each other, and what they learned was, man, everybody here is cool. They're all goal-oriented, committed, and they're not about themselves. They're about each other and having a good time, and that was evident from day one, and we're seeing the reward of that because, in my opinion, to continue to progress and grow through the trials and through even the successes, you got to really care for the person sitting next to you. Otherwise, it gets long, and sometimes it might not even feel worth it. And in this situation, this team is so tight that the adversity that's hit us has just made us stronger instead of separating us. And that's my personal goal. I've learned throughout my career to try to create that adversity just makes us stronger, and that's happening.
When you're out recruiting, how do you look for that?
Yeah, it's an awesome question. That's the huge part of the puzzle, and most of my teams, like you've said, have been very cohesive. We've had some that, where the mix wasn't quite as tight as others. I would say that I love everybody I've gotten the chance to coach. It's just the way it works sometimes. I look for maturity, and so what does maturity look like? It's somebody that handles officiating well, handles coaching, handles adversity, gives fives to people when they're jogging off the floor, when the coach takes them out, brings a great effort all the time, likes defense, and plays super hard, and the people around them speak in glowing terms about them, and we're 13 for 13 in that regard with this team. Just talking to the people around them, these are high-quality, high-character people that we get to work with each day, and as a collective group, they've maintained that. And I will tell you this, great teams and great people don't always make a great group, and so this team is choosing to put each other first, and that was the challenge this week. I know you like, stories that are kind of a little off the mainstream. We talked this week about how do you handle success now? People, we're in the news now. We weren't 2 weeks ago. And all of a sudden, people are talking about Oregon State. Well, what does that do to you? Does that blow your head up? Does that make you feel like you've made it? What have we done? We've created opportunity is what we've done, and we've found a way to play high-level basketball, but we're not near what we could be yet. We know that. We still haven't played a perfect game. We've played great stretches, but there's still steps. So let's stay hungry. Let's stay humble, And so I would say, and I told him this, when you have humility plus talent, that's dangerous. You've got a group that can be scary. And so this group, humble, put each other first, and they're talented, and now they're becoming dangerous.
When you have a team that gets along as well as they do, how do you take advantage of that? Is it just a matter of you're not having to spend any time at all with relationships? It's all about basketball, or how do you take advantage of a situation where you've got a team that really likes each other?
I don't know. I think I try to do the same thing no matter the group. I'm trying to create that same thing every year and foster it and maintain it. I think just the different conversations that we have or the different individual conversations we have, I think it's an art. I don't think it's a cookie-cutter thing. I think each group's different, and you've got to keep feeding whatever that group needs at the time. I think that's where wisdom and experience come in as a leader. And then some groups are just more ready than others. Some groups have leadership that's natural, some don't. You're always trying to figure it out. This group has all those qualities that have allowed them to really accentuate the things you're talking about, and it's made their talent really stand out. So I just think it's not luck, but in a way it's kind of just a natural progression based upon what that group's capable of.
Coach, you guys are obviously doing something pretty amazing this season, honestly. Like you talked about even just a few questions ago, no one was talking about this team a few weeks ago. You guys went from unranked to now 11th in the nation. You obviously, I feel like, knew what this team was capable of, but when was that moment for you that you truly believed this team could get to this point in the season? Was there a moment, was there a specific time that you were like, I know what this team is capable of?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question too. Okay, so potential, I saw potential in Italy. How hard we played over there and just the way they competed in the practices, but in the games, it was special. And I know we're playing exhibition games, in another country without practice. But just the foundational things that you see in the group were like, wow, like that's crazy. So everybody's talking about our point guards coming off that and the defense that they were playing and how they are so disruptive. And so then you just think about the pieces like, man, you got Ray, you got to me, and Kelsey, we're getting to know her, and then you got these point guards that love defense, and then we got the wings, and Dom was a great freshman at the wing, and then we knew what we had in the others, and you got potential star in Talia, and so right away, potential, but you don't know exactly how it's going to come together, and then I would say it was a slow progression. The Arizona win. I love the way we played at SC, okay? And so the way we competed, that first road trip showed me, okay, they've got an inner confidence that's special. We have a high ceiling. We knew that. But then how do we handle adversity? So I liked how we came off, but the way we finished Arizona, if you want to go back to one moment, that was the moment. That was the moment. If Talia's shot misses, where are we today? Talia's shot goes in because we never gave up. Adley hits a big three. We get the two O boards, kick it out. T hits a three. We get to overtime. We find a way to win that game. And so that game was a catapult and a catalyst for us. And then the way that we played against Colorado, Utah 2 weeks ago. That was probably the moment where the team just said, man, the sky's the limit for us, and really believed it, and that belief continues to grow because they're doing everything right.
Where do you think you guys still need to improve on? You look at the statistical number, you guys are in top 50, top 25, top 15, several categories, but where do you feel like you guys still need to improve on, especially heading into this last stretch?
Yeah, well, we had 0 legs left in the fourth quarter the other day. Bless their hearts for playing like they did those 2 games. I would have liked to finish that game better, of course. And so, finishing, handling pressure, turnovers are a thing that has caused us issues at times, and other times we've handled it well, but to put 40 minutes together of taking care of the ball at the highest level against pressure, that's an area. Rebounding is really good. I feel like we need to be great, and that was a discussion we had yesterday in practice. That was exposed in LA for the first time, really. Juju misses a shot. She's going after it, and if you're in her way, she's going to jump on your back. She doesn't like missing, though. She's going to get that, and if you don't box her out, she's probably going to get it. And then Charisma really hurt us at UCLA with 2 huge, offensive rebounds, kind of in a pivotal moment that kind of decided the game, I thought, in that fourth quarter. So just defensive rebounding, as good as it is, taking it up to the next level, and then the other one I'd say is there's just another level where I think we could hit offensively just a little bit quicker, a little more often. And, I'm not complaining because I feel like we're in a good place, but, there's just more steps to take. So just another step in just the pace of offensive execution throughout 40 minutes.
With where you guys are at right now in the Pac-12, obviously 3rd place, literally just a step behind, Stanford right now, and I believe it's still Colorado, if I'm correct, just because they played, I think, 1 more game.
Yeah.
Do you guys at this point in the season treat every game as a must-win scenario, or how do you look at these last final games heading, to the end of the regular season, obviously heading into Pac-12 and of course the March Madness play?
One possession at a time. That's how I view it. It's literally one possession at a time. Win every possession, the other stuff takes care of itself. And you can't be thinking about that stuff. We want to win them all. I'll tell you that. We want to win them all. Why not? We control our destiny in a way, right? I think. And so let's win them all. But the only way that's even remotely possible is possession by possession. And that is the maturity that this group has shown. We know how hard every game is. They've played with complete respect for our opponents every night, and that's going to be demanded down the stretch. But if you look at our schedule, look what Cal just, you might say, oh, well, you got Cal at home. That's the easy one. No, are you kidding me? Cal's legit. And, then the other ones are either ranked or the Washingtons on their home floors. There's no rest here. Our schedule is an absolute beast, and, I think the team has used it to their advantage. It's the toughest schedule, yet they're rising to it, and they found ways to win games against teams and in places where people didn't think we could, and now people are saying, maybe they can, and so going into the weekend, we're underdogs again, by ranking anyway, and I think that's kind of where we've been all year, so okay. When we've been favorites, I think we've handled that pretty well too. So, so it's just, this team's just like loving playing basketball. And so I think that's the number one thing. Let's just have fun with this possession and dominate it.
What's maybe one thing that has surprised you the most of this team that you maybe didn't see at the beginning of the season, but going throughout the season, you've kind of noticed?
First off, I like your sweatshirt. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Something that has surprised me. I don't know. That's such a hard question. Well, no, it's okay. Hard questions are good. I think I always see greatness. I see greatness, and so I see it when they walk on campus, so I can't say I'm surprised. I'm pleased that things have come together so quickly. I'm pleased in our leadership. I'm not surprised by it, but I'm pleased with it. I'm so pleased and happy for Talia. Talia is stepping up into a leadership role that a coach can only dream of. And it's like just happening for her. And it's just happening before our eyes, where she's embracing the defensive end and loving the defensive end and setting the tone for us on that end of the floor. And Tamia setting the tone. The team said, I asked him yesterday, who sets the tone for us defensively? Talia. Awesome. Who sets the tone for us on the boards? Everybody said Tamia. Awesome. And so we've got leaders stepping up into areas and in categories that they weren't quite sure, maybe, that they could. I don't know. And so I think I'm just pleased with the progress everyone's making. And no matter who we call on, they go out and take the court confidently and produce. It has not mattered the night. From what Sela's done in her minutes, all the way through. It's just been a joy to watch them rise into it. So can't say I'm surprised, but I'm just really happy for them and pleased overall.
And I'm just wondering, you played two teams that are two of your three losses on the season. Does the team see those two games as losses, or how do they view those? Are those two losses fueling them through the week, or is it the underdog mentality? How do they view those, or do they just view them as close games and we should have won and now we have another chance?
Yeah, I think they view them as, they want to beat them for sure. I think, to get revenge on losses, anybody would say, yes, that would be great. I'd like to do that. I don't think it's out of balance in any weird emotional way, we got to, they beat us, we got to. It's not like that. It's like these are two good teams that, we need to beat if we want to get to where we ultimately want to go and capitalize on the opportunity we've created at this point and, defend our home court and keep rolling, So I think it might just be that simple. And with that is just a massive level of respect for how good they are, but I think they look back and go and do say, yes, we lost, but we really benefited from those experiences, and we've turned them into wins, even though they're not. You know what I mean? So it just feels really healthy to me.
And not only is it a really fun time for you to be a coach, but it's also a really fun time for you to be a dad. When you found out that your son kind of got that exemption into the Scottish Open, what was that like?
One of the best days of my life. We were there for it, and Carrie was with me. And I could talk about it for a long time, but I'll just sum it up by saying Monday was, for everything that it meant, for the incredible opportunity it was for him, for his coach at Boise State creating the opportunity. We're so thankful for that. He earned it. He had the low score, the low average on his team in the fall, and that's why he got selected to be the one from Boise State. And to watch him take, one of the best courses in the world, to step out there so confidently and just play it like a pro and carry himself. I said on the second hole, Cole looks like a pro right now, just the way he hit his second drive into the trucks, the promo trucks. And I'm like, but he just walked down the middle of the fairway like it was nothing, and then walked over there and dealt with that and got himself out of trouble. And then, You know, to think that, well, might have lost it and then have a playoff and just playing against, you know, All-Americans and going toe-to-toe with one of the best players, Washington's best player, and one of the best players in the country, and winning with a birdie. You know, it was a moment where he got to see himself differently, and as a parent, what more could you ask for your kid? You know, and then to understand what the experience actually is going to be. I mean, it was so emotional, it was crazy. I mean, it was as good as it gets, you know, and I don't know. He got to meet all his favorite golfers afterwards because all the pros had showed up to practice because of the tournament this week, and got a video message from Tiger. I mean, it was like pinch yourself stuff, you know, and so we got a really cool opportunity to look forward to in July, you know, and so it's well-deserved. He does everything right and competes as hard as he can every day, and so we're really happy for him, you know. Proud is a tricky word. We're certainly proud of him, but more than anything, we're just happy for him.
We talked multiple times over the course of the season about how kind of national recognition for this team was a little bit slow arriving. It's arriving now. You know, number 11 in the poll, a 4 seed projected with a home date in the tournament in bracketology. How does the team respond to those things? Does that energize them? What is the response?
Yeah, well, we don't know 100% yet. I mean, we'll find out as we go forward. Yesterday was a great practice, though. It was a great team meeting. They seemed just to be taking things in stride, and we weren't put off by the fact that we were rated low, or rated lower than maybe we thought we should be. That made sense to us, I think, everyone. Our preseason ranking kind of made sense. I mean, we didn't have a great year last year from a win-loss standpoint, so we hadn't proven anything yet. And so this year it was just an opportunity to do our thing and see what happens. And a year where no one's expecting a whole lot, make them pay attention, I guess. Phil Gill. I mean, that has been kind of a mantra from day one with this group is we want to play in a way that fills Gill. We want to play in front of a packed Gill Coliseum. And so let's do that. And then the wins have started to come. You know, the media has started to come, of course, and it's deserved. They're playing incredible basketball. The only way that continues is to continue to play incredible basketball. And so their focus is there, and I don't see them getting distracted. I think this team is too mature for that, you know. And, yeah, so I feel like I don't see it changing us. I just see it as, let's capitalize on this.
Anyone else?
I was listening to your post-game spot on the radio, and you talked about, I totally just blanked on my question. Oh, I remembered. I'm so sorry. You can crop that out of the video. You talked about how you kind of laughed when they brought up that you're now guaranteed a 500 record in conference, and you said that the sights are now a little bit higher. That normally most years you take that, but now it's higher. What's the expectation here?
I would not take that most years. I mean, I guess some years you'd take that. 500. I don't want to be 500. You want a winning record. And so I just thought it was funny to celebrate that, or say that day with so many games to go, as something that we'd celebrate. So I don't know. I didn't think it. I don't think I was thinking arrogantly. I was just like, I guess that's great, but like let's get to 15. Let's get to 15. You know, right now. And so yeah, our sights before the year were high. Ours were. But they were last year too, and the year before, you know, and then you just go to work and try to make the dream happen, you know, and so, but the dream's the tournament every year, and that's where it started this year, and so, yeah, but enjoy every step of the journey, including getting to 9.
Great, thanks, Scott.
All right, thanks you guys. Always a pleasure.
I'll show you.
The shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fire.
They're so cute.
My little baby.
We can give you first question since they complimented your fit. We'll just work it around in reverse order, so.
Okay, perfect, awesome.
All right.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We ready? Oh, I'm not. Okay. Okay, the pink shoes. When I was in college, a lot of gear that we got, we had to like earn. Were the pink shoes something that you had to earn? Or were they something that were planned all along? Or all of a sudden it's like, whoa, we're getting pink shoes. These are sick.
No, I think we've gotten them every year since I've been here. My first year it was the Kobe's, which are still my favorite, but these ones are really cute. They're like lighter pink. So, but yeah, it's something we look forward to every year. And I think we just get them no matter what.
Yeah.
I think we've earned it this year though, either way.
For
So,
sure.
There you go. I kind of asked Scott, just with these two teams that you guys are coming up, they're 2 of your 3 losses. Does that kind of fuel you guys? Is it something that you think about, or is it just the next opponent? And since you guys played them so tough in their house, like you just feel confident having them playing them in Gill this time around?
Yeah. Business as usual. I keep saying that, but it really is. I mean, we played them the first time. It was our first away trip. So obviously hostile territory, really tough 2 opponents coming up first in the beginning of the season for us. But I feel like we're ready. And I think we've developed so much as a team collectively, offensively and defensively, that hopefully it's a different outcome this weekend. So we're excited for sure.
Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, I think for me, I mean, obviously it leaves a bad taste in your mouth losing, but that almost feels like a different season, and we've come so far since then that truly I'm super confident going into this weekend, and the way that we've approached every game since then, or since the Bay Area trip, I would say it's just one game at a time, respecting everyone that comes in, and our mindset is just one possession at a time, win the next possession in front of us. So it's not something that I think we're thinking about too much. Obviously going to learn from those losses and what we need to do better and specific things strategically, but you know, we're playing someone in Gill, so that's always a big opportunity, and we're confident, and we've just been on a roll, so just going to keep it going.
Yeah. And looking back at those 2 games, what maybe is one thing each that kind of sticks out to you that you maybe in your position group or the team in general, like that you guys want to make sure that you improve the second time around?
Yeah, I think our dominance on rebounding was definitely something that we came back from that trip understanding we need to get better at. And so it's a battle on the glass, and so we have put the time in, and we've gotten a lot better at it. And so, yeah, it's going to be exciting.
I think just going on the road, you learn that defense and rebounding are what travels. You know, when you can't hit shots or maybe your offense isn't as good in someone else's gym, you know, defense and rebounding is something that can always be consistent. So I think that's what we came out of that weekend just realizing is that we need to be dominant defensively and rebounding no matter the circumstances. And I think we've come so far in those categories since then. And then I think looking back, just an overall, just like belief in ourselves and just the energy and the confidence that we play with from that weekend to now has completely turned upside down. And just the way that we carry ourselves and the way that we approach the game is so much different. So I think that's been the difference, and that's what's allowed our rebounding and our defense to become so much better. And so we're just going to keep that going. And like I said, it's just the confidence.
Okay, and I'll keep it quick. I'll ask a Valentine's question. What's maybe your favorite Valentine's gift? What's your ideal Valentine's gift or ideal Valentine's candy? Like, what are you expecting? Say from your Valentine's.
I'm a sucker. I'm a sweet tooth. So I love Almond Joys. It's kind of a controversial topic, but yep, I love me some Almond Joys.
I don't. And for me, anything pink. I just love the color pink. So if you give me something that's pink, that's good enough for me.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with liking almond.
Thank you.
You're safe. Well, I think.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
they're so good. They are.
Sylvia, for you, Coach talked about how watching you transform into the leader that you've become this season has been a dream come true. What does it mean for you in the transformation you've become in the leader and the role that you've taken this season, whether it's been the voice in the huddle or the impact you have on defense and what you've been able to achieve so far this season?
Yeah, I think it's just been a journey, and kind of having to step into a leadership role early in my career was humbling for sure. And I think the difference this year is just that it's much easier to hold other people accountable if you're getting the job done yourself. So I feel like just really priding myself on defense and finding the joy in it and identifying as a defender has been the difference for me this year, and I think allowed me the confidence to be able to, hold everyone else accountable. And then I think that just spreads throughout the team. If I make a mistake on defense, I'm hearing about it from freshmen, from sophomores, from whoever, and I think that's what makes this team so good, is that it's 1 through 13. We hold each other accountable, and so I definitely try to have that start with me, and so I can't expect my teammates to do something that I'm not doing. So just making sure I always have energy, I'm always working hard, and that's something I take super personally. Bringing everyone together in the huddles, I think, especially last year, losing so many close games, I think that's what we were missing, was someone to just bring everyone together and just be aware of the situation. Like, we're up 10 with 3 minutes left. I think if you have a really good leader, there's no way you lose that game. If you're just bringing everyone together, making sure we know the situation, we know what we need to do. And I think that's going through that last year and just having all of those experiences of not being a good leader or failing at that has allowed me to kind of step into it this year and take it on. And that's, in my opinion, what it takes for us to win and for us to be a good team, is to have that leadership, not just from me, but it kind of comes from everyone. Obviously, AJ's been here a while, and Timmy and Ray have huge voices on this team as sophomores. And so that's what makes this team so special, is that it truly does, as much as people talk about me as leader, it comes from everyone. And everyone has a voice at different times and steps up when they need to. And so it's just been so fun. And like I said, I think the last 2 years have really been leading up to this. So it's just super fun playing with this team.
How much do you reflect on the last 2 seasons, especially everything that you guys went through, all the different adversity, the decision, to stay here at Oregon State, to continue to be a Beaver instead of leaving when things were down here over the last couple of years? How much do you reflect on what everything has led in the last 2 seasons to this point for you and this team?
A lot, I think, especially the last few weeks, with just kind of starting to get recognized and how far we've come, and obviously climbing in the rankings. Not that you put too much weight on that, but after winning 4 conference games last year, it's definitely hard not to look at how far we've come. And talking to AJ too, we're just like, man, we really kind of started from the bottom here and had a tough couple of years, but we just kept showing up and we kept finding new ways to problem solve and looking in the mirror, asking ourselves what we need to do better individually, and then how can we impact the team and impact others. And I think, to me, as class, that sophomore group has played a huge role as well, just coming in, weathering that freshman year, and then getting back to work in the spring. It was those 5 and AJ. I was recovering from surgery, but they were at Dixon. They were in the gym every day, and they were just grinding. So it's as much credit to that group as it is to AJ and I. And so, yeah, I think it's just been a journey, and it's been super fun. And I think going through all those hard times and all those losses and all that failure really has allowed us to grow and turn this program back into what it was. And so it's just been super fun, and it's been a collective effort from everyone.
To me, I'm just curious, Coach talked about at the beginning of the season, you guys had this belief in yourselves that despite the rankings, despite the polls, that you guys knew what you guys were capable of, that you guys knew you had to earn it. Where did that belief really come from in your eyes with this team, that you guys could get to this point?
Yeah, T said it, but we're really good individually, and so we all kind of see that in each other. And last spring, when we were putting the work in, we hooped at Dixon with like our scout guys, and we all kind of rekindled the love for the game and like realized how good each of us individually are. And then we were just kind of took that confidence and just kind of led it into this next season, or now I should say. And so yeah, it's just more of a fact of we kind of hold each other to that belief of like, you're good. Like, everyone's good. Like, you shouldn't doubt yourself at all. You put in the work, trust the process, trust your work, and yeah, so.
For either one of you, why does this team like each other so much? You guys just seem to get along so well. What is there?
I think we're all just cool people, and no, but for real, It's just so easy to love each other. I feel like Scott does a great job of really getting to know the people that he's recruiting, and he intentionally recruits people with super high character, and just people that are super easy to get along with, and there's no drama on this team ever. I mean, we're super close and we're like family, and you know, we fight and bicker a little bit like sisters do, but at the end of the day, like, we love each other so much, and yeah, it's almost something that you can't really explain. It's just we all gel, and we all have similar goals, and so that makes it easy to come in and have the same mindset every day and just bond. And I think specifically with the group that was here last year, those 5 sophomores and AJ and I think going through how tough last year was, and just how maybe hard it's hard to lose 9 games in a row. It's hard to only win 4 games in conference when you came here to win, and you came here to win championships. I mean, that's tough. And so that's a bonding experience. And so taking that and then going into the spring, like she said, and just finding the love for the game again, and figuring out, you know, how we can win here, and finding that belief in each other. I mean, that really brings people together. And so I think that's a huge thing as well. And then bringing in the transfers and the freshmen, and just loving on them and bringing them in, putting our arms around them, and just bringing everyone together. Yeah, it's almost something that you can't explain, but that's what makes this group so special. So I don't know if you can pinpoint it to any one thing, but we all just love each other. We love basketball, and so it makes it easy to show up every day.
I assume you guys have both played on teams that maybe not that they didn't like each other, just sort of tolerated each other. Is there a big difference when you play on a team like that versus one where everybody's really likes each other?
I would say absolutely. It kind of enables a sense of trust between each other when you are super tight, and you are able to get on each other without anyone taking offense to it. Where on those teams where, say, you're not close with someone, you get on them about something they did wrong, and they take it personally, and it carries into your relationship off the court. Whereas here, it's off the court, we're all best friends. On the court, we're here to get the job done. And so we all have that understanding and are able to be on each other. Sometimes it sucks in practice when all of us are kind of yelling at each other, but we all understand that we're competitive and we need to win and we need to be good. And so, I genuinely believe that our trust and connection with each other is why we're so good.
And I think the difference this year is just the standard, and like 1 through 13, we all want to win a Pac-12 championship. We all want to make a deep run in the tournament, go to the Final Four, and we all want that so bad. And so when you have that understanding, then those little fights or yelling at each other, you realize what it's all for, and so it's never personal. And I think that's what allows this group to hold each other accountable and just play the way that we are, is because we all just want it so bad and we want to win so bad, each and every one of us individually. So I think that also makes it easier to maintain those relationships through those hard times or times where you have to get on each other.
Are there a couple players on the team that are really good at, with the bonding thing, doing things off the floor, getting players together, do stuff? Is there one or two that?
Yeah, I think Sela and AJ would probably be the two that are like the social coordinators of the group and getting everyone together. I think it's definitely hard during Pac-12 schedule and during school, but we've been really good about that this whole year, about getting together. And obviously Italy was super special and kind of made us realize how much we love just being around each other off the court. So yeah, everyone kind of hangs out with everyone, and it's super fun. But yeah, those are probably the two.
Talia, you're one of my favorite people to follow on Twitter. Thoughts there about your guys' Starbucks event tomorrow. I just kind of wanted to ask how that came together and what you guys are looking forward to with it.
Yeah, my cousin is one of the managers at the Starbucks, and so she had been asking for probably like a year now for just to get something going, and she brought it up to me last week. And obviously with the big games coming up this weekend, and we want to sell it out, we want as many fans as possible to come watch. So we thought it'd be cool to just give an opportunity to connect with the fans. It's not like an NIL thing. It's just come say hi, we'll sign stuff, and then customers that just happen to be there. I think our personalities are kind of big, so just asking them to come to the games, giving them the flyer, and just letting them know. what they'll be missing out on if they don't come to Gill. So I'm super excited. I think it's going to be really fun, and just hopefully fans get to come and interact with us.
As a four-year Starbucks veteran, I wanted to ask, you guys said in the tweet that you'd be making your favorite drinks. What are your guys' go-to Starbucks orders?
Oh gosh. Caramel Rip and Crunch with whipped cream, dome lid.
Dome lids, crazy. I get the brown sugar oat milk shake and espresso recently, but I go through phases. But that's what I'm on right now. And then I know Lily and Adley get pink drinks, so they probably would want me to say that.
Both valid answers. Obviously you talked about wanting to really pack out this one and fill Gill. I've heard of sellouts on the line for you guys. What would that mean for you into this program?
Selling out would mean that's so crazy to even think about. I mean, last time they sold out was when they played against Stanford, right? And so that would mean that it would just be really rewarding. And all of our hard work is paying off. I mean, we're getting a lot of hype right now, deservingly so. But yeah, it's just exciting. I mean, two really good teams coming in and putting on a show for Beaver Nation means a lot to us. And so, yeah, we're just excited for this weekend.
Yeah, I think for me, it would mean the world, just because I feel like we've maintained getting pretty good crowds through the last couple years, and through, not winning a lot of games. Obviously, we're undefeated in Gill this year, but that hasn't been the story the last 2 years. And I feel like our fans have just been so dedicated and supportive. And I feel like with our record the last 2 years and just where we've been at in the standings, it was always still so positive from our fans, and just even, I don't read the comments a lot, but the comments I would see, I mean, they're always in our corner. And so to kind of turn it around for them this year and just to see the support that we're getting, obviously it's great to sell it out, but those fans that have been there through the whole thing, it means the world. And you don't fill arenas unless you win and unless you're special and fun to watch, and that's what this group is. So I think, obviously, season's not done yet, but I think we've earned that, and I hope that we get to experience it, if not this weekend, then, hopefully what could be the Pac-12 championship against Stanford in 2 weeks or however long it is. So I think it's just been a long time coming, and we're trying to earn that, because that's not something that just happens. So it would mean the world to me, and I get emotional thinking about it. So I hope that it can happen, and I hope that Beaver Nation shows up. Thank you. Go Beavs.
Thank you, go Beavs.